Good morning, everyone. We will be starting the webinar in about 3 minutes, so waiting for others to come in. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Nisha. I am one of the marketing reps here at AIM. Today's webinar will be recorded and later posted on our website. This does mean all attendees will be automatically muted so that we can get a quality recording this morning. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat box and we'll try to answer them throughout the presentation. But if we are unable to get to the question, we will have a member of our marketing team reach out to you individually to make sure we get those answered. We do have a webinar every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, so keep an eye out on your email or our website to get signed up for the next one. Our next webinar will be held on July 16th, hosted by yours truly, Nisha Katrin. I'll be discussing our technology for your success. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Don Erickson, who is presenting traditional long-term care so that we can get started this morning. Take it away, Don.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you for bringing us on this morning. Greatly appreciated. Good morning, everyone. Great to see you all here today. It's already July. As we all know, it's hot. Vacations are hot and heavy, as always, right now, time of year. But I just wanted to say before we start, thanks for everyone joining us today. That's a huge thing for us to be on and have you participate with us. Today's webinar, we're actually going to be going over the traditional long-term care. There will be a lot of good materials to go through, and I kind of wanted to just kind of jump right in, but thank you again for joining us this morning. So on the agenda for today, we are going to cover more than a few topics, from why long-term care, what's in it for you as the agent, how to sell long-term care, market trends, the traditional trio of the products that we actually offer here at AIM to help you with your clients, and where we go from here. Big question, as always, as everyone always knows, you can see on the screen, why should people buy long-term care? Well, it also is, why should you buy homeowners insurance? and car insurance. They kind of all do the same thing. It's one of those things that you really must have to protect yourself. So day in and day out, we hear the use it or lose it with long-term care. It's it's a phrase we hear way too often, but if you really think about it, all three are very similar in this situation. They all are used to transfer risk to the insurance company and give us all peace of mind. That's what we're all looking for. And when you're looking at long term care traditional, that's exactly what it does. Knowing that I first, uh, I'll just say this first and foremost, I personally have been through way too many things, probably like everyone else who's on the webinar, seeing friends, family members go through something. And if they would have had some kind of long term care or care in general, it would just cover so many things, and the stress on a family would be a lot less. So that's just a key thing that I always like to talk about. Market trends, I'll let you go ahead and read through the screen itself, but with market trends, you can see the numbers of the clients aging in, and we'll have to have some kind of coverage for long-term care or short-term care. Uh, you can name it in general. There's quite a few different ones. When quoting long-term care, we can design plans to fit many budgets to help you with potential clients. This can be from really a full meal deal. They want full blown, 15,000 a month, 10,000 a month benefit for the life of a policy, or they just want to supplement something for their retirements. We want to make sure that we have everything available as much as possible for you as the agents to help your clients. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest picture we want to make sure that we can help you with. The big picture, how to sell LTC, the clients, and your job. Help build what's best to fit for the clients. We have three traditional carriers that we use here at AIM to work with clients and build the best plan for them. What's the client really looking to accomplish for their benefits they're looking for? What are they looking to protect? Your job is to help budget for their needs and to build the benefits to help their goals. So, what should your pitch be on this? This is one of the most important things of all. By having a conversation with them, you'll realize what exactly they're looking for, how to build a plan. They all have different details that they're looking for, and we can design a plan to best fit the policy, to best fit the client. That's really what our job is. And I will go over this a couple times. I'll repeat myself a few times, but it's really simple conversation. What does the client say they really want, but versus we know what they actually do want and need. What does the client need? Like I said, and medical history, prequel. We'll talk about more about that later on, but that's a huge thing. Their medical history and prequaling them. So, what is in it for you and the client with LTC? You, as the agent, as you can see, is long-term care is one of the ones you'll have the most and the highest commissions of any product in the market. The largest age band, 18 to 79. You can actually go all the way down with one of our carriers from 18 all the way up to ages 79. So when building a product, a lot more, right now we're seeing a lot more younger clients and designing them with a smaller benefit, but with growth throughout the policy. So their premium is going to be less. You're going to have a lot more growth period, but taking care of them over the life of the policy. Biggest potentials that we have, and I personally write business, so I know that the aging clients, they have adult children. Those are huge potential clients that already know their parents have policies, and they can see that they are in line to make sure they have the same opportunity with a lot less premium. Health is at the prime, usually with their age, so they're going to get the best rates, the easiest underwriting because of their age and usually their health, depending on their age. That's a big thing. So we want to make sure you know that. And then preparing for the future, health situations, protecting retirement assets for the clients. With medical enhancements, living longer, they will need some kind of long-term care, and we want to make sure we can help them with the future by giving them a good plan. So the trio, the long-term care, you can see on the screen, we've got Mutual of Omaha, we've got National Guardian Life, Thrivent. We're going to dive into these carriers and products. We will cover the health or how each of them have their place in the market and when it comes to solving the best fit for your client's needs. With the blend of these carriers, you'll have many options. Just a few that I wanted to go over. I just say the coverage age, 18 to 79. The shared care options with a couple of them. You can actually pull from one of the spouses if you go through all of yours. If you need more benefits, leaving the spouse up to 12 months. You can also have a third bucket with one of the carriers where you actually, instead of pulling from your spouse, you actually will have a third bucket that you or your spouse can pull from. Grows the same as the benefits that you or your spouse have, but you're not pulling from them at all. So you actually protect them from losing their benefits. You also have the limited pay options. You do have the lifetime option. You have a 10-pay option that we have with a couple carriers, and you also have a single pay that we can actually do. End quote. Benefits up to $15,000 a month. Policy limits that can go to 8+ years. That's kind of a big deal. It does cost some premiums, but we're always here to look for the best fit for the clients, and we want to make sure we have all the options we can. We also have one traditional long-term care carrier with a lifetime benefit period. You want to find out more details about that. When we call you back after the webinar, one of the marketers will call you, and we can actually, if you have a question on that, please ask. It's becoming a lot more popular. With that one, I've actually quoted myself, maybe a different benefit, maybe $6,000 a month or $5,000 a month, but it's for the lifetime of the policy, so there's no end in it. So you can supplement your retirements or your benefits with your retirement to build a good plan, but have a continuous benefit of $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. So that's a great tool to have. When we're talking about all three of these carriers, it's good to have all three when you're working with long-term care, because when you're working with clients, if you just show them one option, they're going to actually go look for another option, option B, option C, just to see what else is out there. So we feel that we've built the best portfolio to have all three carriers with the name brand in place for you as the agent. So we're going to kind of go through each of the carriers a little bit. You can kind of look through the screen and read their policy benefits. Mutual has always kind of been our flagship. They're well-known, household name. We helped actually build the product back in 2013. So you could say we helped build the engine, the core of the car. We aren't just the salesman for the car. So when you're looking for details about the product and the quoting tool, we actually built that in-house with Mutual Omaha's approval, and it's a standalone quoting tool. It is probably one of the user-friendly. If you're talking about that, it's probably one of the easiest ones to actually use. If I can actually use it, I can show you how to use this, and we can walk through. It's got so much potential to use. We want to make sure that you have the access available also with mutuals. NGL, National Guardian Life. A few key options that I do want to point out is that their payment options, they do have a lifetime pay, but you can also do a 10-pay or a single pay option. Single pay is not always the key when you're looking at long-term care, just for the fact that you don't want to dump all your money in at one time. Let it grow with your payment options. 10-year, if you can afford that, the premiums are a little higher. But going through it, I highly look at that every time I'm talking to clients about a 10-pay compared to a lifetime pay. If they can afford the little bump in premiums, it's well worth the difference. NGL also has the third bucket that I was talking about. Mutual has the shared care benefit, but when you're talking about a third bucket of money, you can use your full amount and go into that third bucket instead of going into the spouses. And for the premiums, it's always nice to show, if you're working with a couple, to go through and look at both the shared care benefit for the premiums and what it does for Mutual of Omaha, but also look at that third bucket option that an NGL has. It's a great tool and one to look at and make sure that you compare for your clients to give them the best options. They also have the lifetime benefits, NGL. So when you're looking for a one-time lifetime benefit product for traditional, NGL is probably the only one on the market that actually has a lifetime benefit. So yes, give us a call definitely if you are more interested in that benefit, and we can go over it and show you side by side from a benefit for a 3-year period, 4-year period, 5-year period for the premiums compared to, and that's with inflation, and then instead doing a lifetime benefit with a set amount with no inflation. Look at the premiums, look at how it grows for the inflation, see if it's worth the option to go for premium wise, if it's a lifetime benefit with no inflation, or to go with the inflation with a set period. Just a few things that I'd like to know about NGL for you guys. Thrivent is a fraternal organization. They have some added benefits. You can see that they've got also a lifetime or a 10-pay. Thrivent, as I was discussing, is ages 18 to 79. Huge rate difference, but when you're talking about younger clients and people wanting to get benefits before they get into the ages of 50, 60, and 70, where the premiums really go a lot higher, when you're working with clients, especially when we did this Washington Trust thing, it really affected a lot more younger people because of the fact that they were going to be paying taxes. And so why not get a policy that's worth the money and it can grow over their lifetime? But in doing that with younger clients, you can look at a 10-pay. And for the premium, it's not that bad for 10 years with the Thrivent with a younger age. So a great option to look at. We want to make sure that you know about it and how it works. So you can always call us anytime here at the office, or when we're done here, we can talk about it. Just make sure you have your questions ready to go. Like I said, both Thrivent and National Guardian Life have multi-pay options. So they've got 10 pays, they both do. The only difference with the National Guardian Life is they have a single pay. So you have a few different options that work for your clients. And then also with Thrivent, they do look at some other medical issues a little closer and will take a little more risk on certain areas. So just be aware of that. Now we're going to look at a comparison tool that is actually that we can show up to 3 different options on one page. It depends on what the client is looking for. So you can show a Mutual of Omaha, a Thrivent, and National Guardian Life, like I showing you on the screen. You've got 3 different carriers and options for different benefits. But you can show Mutual of Omaha 3 different ways if you'd like to on the screen. You can show National Guardian Life with Mutual, you can show Thrivent with Mutual, but you have the option of 3 different quotes side by side. So your clients can see this and say, hey, this option has this company has this, but we want to make sure you're fully aware how this does work. This is on our YAIM website. It's Stratecision is what they call it. To use this tool, the thing you need to know is you have to be contracted with our long-term care carriers. That's the biggest thing, just to be able to get into our YAIM. But I tell you what, if you're working with clients day in and day out, which we do, they're looking for options. They don't just want one thing, say, hey, this is all you get. You're not going to have any other thing you can actually look at. So what they're going to do is they're actually going to go out to somebody else, look at another option, and you could potentially lose a sale. I've done this myself, and I kind of kick myself for not making sure that I do say, hey, when I'm working with a client, we do have other carriers. We have options depending on how much benefits you're looking for. How long are they looking for it? Are they looking for growth? How old are they? All of these things can determine what the client's looking for to build their product. So having a conversation with your client is the biggest thing. So when you're doing that, if you have questions too, we want to make sure that you don't have to be the specialists and know everything about long-term care. That's what we're here to help you with. And so you can call in and say, hey, my client has this. They want to know how this works. Is there a return of premium option? Can we get this? Is there a benefit that if we have an uninsured spouse, is there a company that has a benefit for that? We do have a carrier. Mutual of Omaha has a benefit that if you have an uninsured spouse, you can actually get them coverage under your plan. Biggest thing on how it works and how it triggers. You want to know how it triggers, and like I said, call us for more information for details on it. There's a lot of things that go on, but how they work, how they trigger, there's a lot of different features that we have. We have three of the best carriers you're going to find on the market to do that. They're all A rated. They've been around for quite a while. And to do that, we want to make sure you have all the options we can. So, like going more into the quoting tools, all three carriers offer quoting tools. With National Guardian Life and Thrivent tools, they're actually combined on their eApp portal. So when you're working with their eApps, you'll actually be able to do the quote first and then walk right into the portal. Mutual of Omaha, like I said, it is a standalone, downloadable right onto your desktop, and it actually goes out and is updated on its own. When it comes to qualifying for long-term care, we will always pre-qual with most clients, just for the simple fact that this is to ensure coverage is possible. The reason for it is to make sure that we're doing the best that we can to help you and your clients to qualify. You know, a lot of times when you're working with clients, they some reason forget that they had a certain illness or they had something going on, they had a surgery, they forgot to say they take blood pressure medication. I've had this one. They actually said they take blood pressure medication, but on the app they don't think they have high blood pressure, so they didn't mark that. Just simple things like that. We want to make sure that when we're making sure the quality of long-term care and apps going in is an app that would actually qualify for the policy. Um, and when we're working with that, just pre-qualing brings a big thing. Sorry about that, guys. I got a question. I was just reading it for us all. With the spousal waiver. And so with NGL, I need to look into it a little more. I will get back to you. So let's get your name on that one and we'll get back to you and I'll find out exactly how it works. I know with mutuals, if you have the joint waiver of premium, if one of you are on claims, both is waived, and that's a rider that you would add. I will look into the NGL and I'll make sure I find out and get back to you. We'll get your name and I'll call you personally and find out for you and see how that works. Great question. So also with underwriting, AIM's new business department is always here for you. We have close relationships with all three carriers. And when it comes to if it was a decline or if applications are on hold, we can find out reasonings usually. But when asking this, we need to make sure that we have the HIPAA release form signed on the application. So when you're doing an application, make sure that you mark that box and the client signs that we can get the information to the agent so we can actually find out and have the authority to where we can actually get the information for you guys. On the AIM website, you can actually see and track your business also with submitted business on our YAIM website. See if it's issued or if it's pending or if there's an issue. But following your business is a big thing, and working through us will help you with that. EAPS, probably one of the easiest way to do the apps anymore. Quickest process, prevents mistakes as it shows right on the screen. We also have done webinars on EAPS for all the carriers, how to walk through them. So you can actually do a tutorial on those and look through the apps before you actually do one. A lot of them have sandbox right on their portals where you can actually do an application, work through it before you actually have clients. So if you haven't done a traditional long-term care app on their portals, the electronic applications, I've actually personally done them. Once the first time you do it, it's kind of clunky a little bit, but once you get through one, it makes it a lot easier to go through those. Like I said, we have recorded webinars on all three of them. You can go to our portal and check those out. They're an easy way to walk through and watch how they're done. So we're going to go through the next few slides. and just look at the front pages or the initial when you go into the portal to see an e-application on each of their sites. So Mutual of Omaha, as you see on the screen, there's yellow on the right or the left-hand side. You'll click each yellow section, like this is the personal worksheet, so it'll be a single or a dual application. You'll put in the monthly benefit or the yearly. You can see the disclosure statement. You'll want to answer that question, and you'll go next. As you go through the e-app for Mutual, the yellow gets into white. Once they're all white, the e-application is done. If you have an error, it'll stay in yellow until you correct it. Very straightforward. NGLs, they're essential LTC. Step one is you start the illustration. You go through that process. It takes you into step two, the application. Then it takes you into the e-signature on step three. With Thrivent, very similar. You'll go into iPipeline, and you'll start the process by doing the proposal, first name, last name, date of birth, very simple. You'll select the product, which is the product type, long-term care, and it'll give you the option to start the quote illustration or go right into the e-app. Another thing that we also still do have are paper applications. Yes, paper apps. A lot of clients and agents still use those. We do offer them. You can complete a paper application, submit it here to AIM. Our new business department here, Brandy Butterfield, will actually scrub the application, and if it's in good order, she'll actually overnight it to the carrier, and then she will email you as the agent saying, hey, we've submitted the application, and we will keep you informed on how the process is going. If it's not in good order, she will actually get back to you and say, hey, this is something we need to correct before we can actually get it in. So it actually is hands-on for us to make sure that it goes through step by step. We keep track of everything on it. And so it is a good process. So if you are going to do a paper application, I recommend that you send it to us here at the office so she can go through it, make sure it's all in good order, and then send it in. I just recommend it if you're going to do a paper app. Regardless of you're working with paper applications, e-applications, if you have questions, you can always reach out to us here at the office for assistance. We're here to help you. If it's an application, if there's a question on a certain form, if it's an illustration, you can give us a call anytime to help you with that, okay? Just want to make sure everybody's fully aware of that. There are some requirements for training. We want to make sure that you're aware of this also. It's kind of a moot point, but long-term care CEs, you have to have this to actually sell long-term care. The original course, the first course initial is 8 hours. Then every other year is a 4-hour refresher course. I personally have taken both of these. They don't actually take 8 hours. They don't take 4 hours, but it does take time to get through them. You get those hours towards your 24 hours every 2 years that you have to take. So getting that 8 hours, it's a good bump for that. The 4 hours is nice to have also. I show Web CE. I personally use that for almost everything I do for all of my CEs that I personally do. And I want to make sure that you guys all know that it's there to help you guys also. Then there's the E&O insurance. We all have that. We all need it. AIM offers this through Arthur J. Gallagher. So if you guys need E&O insurance, we have it. We can send you the link. You can go through it. It is annually done. I believe it's in April is when it starts. It is prorated, so if you buy it throughout the year, if yours expires and you need E&O insurance, it's prorated through the year, so you'll pay just from the month you're in going forward to March. But let us know if you're interested in that, and we can also take care of you. So takeaways today for our webinar. I know I've kind of covered a lot of different stuff about 3 different carriers, about clients, about what you guys actually get as, for commissions. But I want to make sure you guys are fully aware that we're here to help you. We've got 3 carriers for your portfolio. Make sure your clients have different options, benefits, what they're looking for, a little bit on market trends, but contracting is a big thing. You got to have your product or your contracts in order. You got to have your LTC CEs just to sell the product. That's the biggest thing. We want to make sure that you have those are in good order so you don't write an app and then we find out that your CE wasn't good. So then you have to actually go back and rewrite the application. We don't want that to happen. So let's make sure we have everything in good order. AML, it does say AML on here. If you're working with long-term care and you do work with hybrids and it has a life with long-term care, anti-money laundering is required. So it's a very simple and easy requirement to get. Um, we want to make sure you're fully covered. Getting the most out of everything. The trio, Mutual of Omaha, National Guardian Life, Thrivent, they all have great options, great fits for a lot of different potential clients. Let's be prepared, help you guys. I appreciate you all coming on today. If you have any questions, the number here is 800-672-7202. Again, my name is Don Erickson. We have a lot of marketers here to help you, from Derek Lape to Nisha to Mike Anderson to Juan. We want to make sure you're fully covered. We'll be reaching out to you after the webinar today and tomorrow to ask or answer any questions that you might have. But again, thank you very much for joining us. Have a great holiday 4th, and we'll talk to you soon.